Julius is an interesting character in how he was born as the inheritor of Loptous. Hello everyone, my name is JaeAIK and welcome back to another The Lore Behind. Today we'll be tackling Julius, the Scion of Darkness.
Seliph is the Scion of Light? Ha! I suppose that makes me the Scion of Darkness!
Julius is the son of Arvis and Deirdre, but little did they know that it's their blood that will curse their child. Julius also has a twin sister Julia and is the half-sibling to Seliph through Deirdre and Sias through Arvis. But before we dive into Julius as a character, we have to rewind back to when Arvis was campaigning for his spot as Emperor of Granville. In the events of Generation 1 before the Battle of Belhalla, Deirdre is kidnapped and her memory is wiped clear. Being outside of the castle of Belhalla, Arvis discovers the unconscious Deirdre and takes her into his castle. Deirdre, reminding him of his old mother, instantly falls in love with her and Arvis decides to marry her. Through Deirdre, Arvis has two children like I had mentioned earlier, Julia and Julius. But because Arvis and Deirdre's mother had the minor blood of Loptous inside of her, they inherited the holy minor blood of Loptous, therefore the child they bear, Julius, becomes a prime candidate for the Tomb of Loptous. While the Empire was prospering, Julius at the age of 7 is then introduced to the Tomb of Loptous, and it's here that Julia would describe Julius's demeanor changing drastically. The kind brother that Julia had once known would become corrupted by the darkness of Loptous, and it's here that he kills his mother Deirdre, and he would have succeeded in killing Julia if Deirdre had not teleported Julia to safety. This was all the dark workings of Manfroy, the quote, real villain of Fire Emblem 4. As his dark deeds in the background is what led Julius down the path of darkness. It's his cunning planning in the background that even allows the chance for his dark god to come back through Julius. Arvis, realizing Manfroy's plan a little too late, would then spend the rest of his life as former emperor, atoning for the sins of Julius by saving the children that are hunted for sacrifice. While Arvis was the emperor that sought after peace, and they did find peace for the following 10 years while he ruled, but that all comes crumbling down as Julius adopts a regime that's unforgiving, unmerciful towards the people of Granville. But how exactly did Julius even become the emperor? It's actually through the dying wish of the previous king Asmer, the king before Arvis, that Julius would become the next emperor when he reaches the appropriate age. As emperor, Julius was known to rule with an iron fist, and this is shown in the child hunts. The children that were hunted down would become brainwashed to serve Loptous or straight up be sacrificed. But while he was evil under the influences of the Tomb of Loptous, his characteristics of the kind older brother that Julia remembers him are shown in traces through his lover Ishtar, who he actually loves deeply. He's been known to get jealous at the sight of Reinhardt's gaze toward Ishtar, and also the reason why Reinhardt got removed from his position as her personal bodyguard. Julius would also swoop in at times of Ishtar's needs and save her from death, though he fails to save her in the final chapter of Generation 2. Following the events of Fire Emblem 4, the Liberation Army gains momentum within the year that they've been formed, making their last stand in the final chapter, the Last Holy War. It's here where Seliph and Co. would make their last stand against Julius, Ishtar, and his 12 Deadlords. 12 Deadlords also make an appearance in Julius's Grand Hero Battle, which will be a follow-up video to this one whenever I'm not feeling all too lazy to make a new video. The battle wages on and Seliph's Liberation Army stands on top as the victors. But even in Julius's death, we see that he never really gets free from the curse that is Loptous' tomb. And if you get the final blow with Julia and her Naga tomb, Julius finally succumbs to the darkness, speaks as if he's Loptous himself, stating, "Naga, you've ruined everything yet again." And with the defeat of Julius, you see a short cutscene in which the Dark Dragon disappears into the sky, hopefully never to be seen again. Julius makes his debut into Heroes sporting a similar stat line to his sister Julia. Much like his father Arvis, Julius comes into Heroes with a ploy skill. While there is no skill like attack ploy in Fire Emblem 4, it seems to be a trademark thing for Arvis and his sons to all come with some form of ploy skill. But it could be intentional that Julius comes with attack ploy, as his Tome Loptous would subtract the enemy's attack by 6 when fighting in combat. While it isn't as powerful as cutting the attack of the foe by half before the battle like it did in Fire Emblem 4, subtracting 11 attack before the battle begins is still a huge hit to the attack stat. And if you're facing off against the Lightning Breath minus attack Ninian, it is basically cutting their attack stat in half anyways. The Loptous Tome also grants Julius plus 3 resistance, just like how the Loptous Tome granted Julius plus 5 resistance in the main games. The Loptous Tome is also affected by dragon effective weapons, which include the Falchions, the Binding Blade, and the Naga Tome. True to its original game, the attack having debuff would be nullified when facing off against the Naga Tome. And it's the same here in Heroes. Julius struggles to fight against dragon effective weapons, which also includes the Naga. Julius also comes with Guard, making him a very powerful anti-mage that has the potential of even stopping the most oppressive meta mages in Fire Emblem Heroes. Kind of fitting that Julius is able to tackle on Reinhardt with ease because of his anti-mage capabilities. And finally, Julius also comes with Dragon's Gaze because, come on, you should already know why by now, right? But either way, that wraps up another video of the lore behind. Thanks for tuning in everyone, and if this is your first time here, then consider subscribing for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. If I missed anything regarding Julius, let me know in the comment section below, and if you want to check out my other genealogy video featuring Eris, Lyn, Ishtar, then click the end card. Thanks for watching everyone.